Hello everyone and welcome back to Slide Science. Today we are going to learn a very interesting topic, representing journeys using distance time graphs. Today we will learn everything using a simple story about a girl named Tisha and her journey to school. So let's begin. Imagine it is morning time and Tisha leaves her home for school. She starts walking at a constant speed. This means she is walking steadily, not speeding up and not slowing down. For the first 6 minutes, she covers a distance of 540 meters. Then suddenly she sees her best friend on the way. And you already know what happens next. They stop and start chatting near a corner shop. They remain there for 2 minutes without moving anywhere. Then suddenly both realize they are getting late for class. Now panic mode activated. So they start walking much faster and cover another 240 meters in just 2 minutes. Now here comes the important question. How can we organize all this information properly? And how can we show Tisha's journey using mathematics? The answer is, by using a distance time graph. Before drawing the graph, we first organize the information in a table. At time 0 minutes, Tisha is at home, so the distance from the starting point is 0 meters. After 6 minutes, she has traveled 540 meters. Then for the next 2 minutes, she remains at the same position because she stopped to talk with her friend. So at 8 minutes, the distance is still 540 meters. Then she walks faster and reaches 780 meters at 10 minutes. Now let's convert this information into a graph. In a distance time graph, the horizontal axis, also called the x-axis, represents time. And the vertical axis, also called the y-axis, represents distance or position. So time goes on the bottom, and distance goes on the side. Now we start plotting the points. First point, 0 minutes and 0 meters. Second point, 6 minutes and 540 meters. Distance is still 540 meters because she stopped moving. And finally at 10 minutes, the distance becomes 780 meters. When we connect these points, we get Tisha's distance time graph. Now let us understand what this graph is actually telling us. A distance time graph represents the motion of an object. It shows how the distance or position of an object changes with time. Now here comes the most important concept. The slope, also called the gradient of the line, tells us about speed. Yes, the steepness of the graph tells us how fast the object is moving. If the line is a straight diagonal line, it means the object is moving at a constant speed. If the line becomes steeper, it means the object is moving faster. Think about climbing a hill. A steeper hill means you rise quickly. Similarly, a steeper graph means distance increases quickly, so speed is higher. Now let's look at the first part of Tisha's graph. From 0 to 6 minutes, the line rises straight upwards. This tells us that Tisha is moving at a constant speed. Next comes the interesting part. From 6 minutes to 8 minutes, the graph becomes completely horizontal. This means time is increasing, but distance is not changing. And what does that mean? Exactly. Tisha is standing still. A horizontal line on a distance time graph represents an object at rest or stationary. Basically, the graph is saying, yep, they are busy gossiping. Now after 8 minutes, the line rises again. But this time it is steeper than before. This means Tisha is moving faster than earlier. Why? Because now she is late for class. So a steeper line means greater speed. Now let us learn another important thing. How do we calculate speed from a distance time graph? The answer is by finding the gradient or slope. The formula is, change in distance divided by change in time. Or simply, speed equals distance divided by time. Let us calculate Tisha's speed during the first part of her journey. She traveled 540 meters in 6 minutes. So speed equals 540 divided by 6. That gives us 90 meters per minute. So Tisha's speed in the first section was 90 meters per minute. Now let us calculate her speed in the last section. She covered 240 meters in 2 minutes. So speed equals 240 divided by 2. That gives us 120 meters per minute. Wow, that means Tisha walked much faster in the last section compared to the first section. And we can clearly see this on the graph because the last line is steeper. Now let us quickly understand one more type of graph movement. If the line slopes downward, it means the object is returning towards the starting point. And if the line reaches the x-axis again, it means the object has completely returned back to the starting position. So now let us quickly recap everything we learned today. A distance time graph shows how distance changes with time. The x-axis represents time. The y-axis represents distance or position. A straight diagonal line means constant speed. A steeper line means faster speed. A horizontal line means the object is stationary or at rest. A downward sloping line means the object is returning back. And finally, speed can be calculated using the gradient of the graph. That is, change in distance divided by change in time. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this explanation and finally understood distance time graphs easily, then make sure to like the video, subscribe to Slide Science, and share this video with your friends.